Shall we start? This is the International English Language Testing System conducted on 16th of November at Paramount Academy. The candidate is Yasamin Bayrami with the ID number 1234 and the examiner is Farzad Habibnejad. Hello, good evening. My name is Farzad Habibnejad. May I have your full name, please?
My name is Yasamin Bayrami. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Yasamin. Can I have your ID card?
Here we go.
Thank you so much. You can have it back. So in the first part of the interview, I would like to ask you a few questions about yourself. First of all, let's talk about teachers. What kind of teachers do you like the best?
I believe those type of teachers who really care about education and care about actually teaching students a lot of things instead of having problems with that on different things or on not understanding everything are the ones who are good. And
Who was your favorite teacher when you were in primary school?
I remember back in fourth grade, we used to have this very kind teacher who used to bend over backwards to help us. She used to gift us a lot of things when we scored good grades. And I remember this one time she threw a party in the classroom and she bought all of us mini pizzas.
And do you want to be a teacher in the future?
I don't think so. Teaching is not for me, even though I've tried it at some point in my life, but I don't think I'm going to do it later in future.
Let's talk about animals. Are there wild animals in your country?
Yes, there are so many wild animals, especially in the northern part of my country, in Mazandaran and Golestan provinces, and they are all kept in zoos and forests.
Speaking of zoos, have you ever been to a zoo or a safari park?
Yes, a few years ago, me and my family, we traveled to Africa, and in our hotel, next to our hotel, there was this huge zoo, and there was a kind of safari available. And I remember we tried the safari, and we watched the wild animals and predators through a blind.
Are there TV programs about wild animals in your country?
Yes, there is especially a channel for wild animals and all the other documentaries in the national television of Iran, which is called Channel 4, which covers totally different documentaries, which I totally don't watch and I don't appreciate at all because I find them boring.
Let's talk about weekends. Do you like weekends?
Yeah, especially the weekends on which I travel with my family or I go out camping with my friends because I love going for barbecues and having kebabs in the forest.
How do you usually spend your weekends apart from the things you mentioned? Do you usually study or work?
I prefer neither of them. I like just resting and relaxing at home unless I'm going out again with my friends or family members.
So you mentioned that you don't like working on weekends. What are you going to do next weekend?
Well, I haven't decided yet, but by the next few days, I will have already decided what to do for next weekend.
Let's move on to talk about keys. Do you always bring a lot of keys with you?
I have this keychain on which there are only 2 or 3 keys hung, so not really, it's just not a lot of them.
Have you ever lost your keys?
Fortunately, I have never lost my keys because I always have an eye on them.
Do you think it's a good idea to leave your keys with a neighbor?
As long as you trust a neighbor, I believe it's totally fine. But when it comes to strangers, you have to be more careful.
Let's move on to talk about social media. Do you like using social media?
Yes, of course I do. I like using different applications in order to communicate with my friends and family members, like Instagram, WhatsApp, and Telegram.
And what's the most popular social media in your country?
I think Telegram is the most popular social media in Iran because on this application there are lots of features. For example, you can do an audio call, video call, and also message and send voice messages to your friends and family members.
Do you want to work in social media companies in the future?
I hope that I will get hired in a big company, in a big corporate later on in the future because I work in technology and I aspire to be one of these engineers.
Thank you so much. That's the end of part 1.